Have you ever been ghosted? You meet someone, things seem amazing, and you think you're heading towards something real and meaningful, until she vanishes, leaving you with nothing but radio silence and endless questions. You're left wondering what went wrong, questioning yourself, and trying to figure out what caused this sudden shift. Was it something you said? Did you come on too strong? Or maybe you thought it was going well, but then she starts playing hot and cold. One day, she's all over you, and the next day, nothing. The truth is, many people, men and women alike, experience these confusing relationship dynamics. But there's a reason why it's happening, and there's a way to navigate it without losing your peace of mind. Relationships often come with tests, and sometimes they can feel like games. Some women test you, not necessarily out of malice, but to see how you react under pressure, how much you value yourself, and whether you're grounded enough to stand your ground. If you're caught off guard by these games, they can lead to a lot of frustration and heartbreak. But here's the twist. It's not your fault these games exist, but if you want stability and control in your relationships, understanding them and learning how to outsmart these patterns will help you immensely. This isn't about blaming or changing anyone. It's about mastering yourself and becoming resilient. Today, I'm sharing with you 10 strategies rooted in Stoic principles, practical methods to keep your cool, stay grounded, and not let anyone's actions shake your foundation. These aren't tricks to manipulate others or play games in return. These are strategies that will help you become the calm in any storm. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to stay unshakable, mastering not just your relationships, but also your own emotions, making you the kind of person no one can control or play. So let's dive in, starting with strategy number 1, detach emotionally. The first and one of the most powerful strategies is to learn how to detach emotionally. This doesn't mean being cold-hearted or uncaring. It's about understanding that emotions can cloud judgment and learning to observe rather than react impulsively. Imagine this. A woman you're interested in starts acting distant. The typical reaction might be to panic, start overthinking, or attempt to fix things by texting more, calling her, or even getting overly sentimental. But here's a reality check. Many times, this kind of behavior is a subtle test. She might be observing how you handle emotional distance, whether you can stay grounded or if you'll lose your composure. Detachment isn't about ignoring someone. It's about giving yourself space to breathe and think clearly. When you detach, you send a powerful message that you're not thrown off balance by someone else's mood swings or inconsistency. And that confidence is magnetic because it shows that you respect yourself enough to avoid unnecessary drama. When you practice detachment, you become the calm eye in the storm. So next time you're in a similar situation, take a step back and let her come to you. This simple act can shift the dynamic in a powerful way, and she'll notice that you're someone who isn't easily swayed or affected. Recognize behavioral patterns. Every person, whether they realize it or not, operates on certain behavioral patterns. When you become aware of these patterns, you start to see the bigger picture and understand why someone might act the way they do. Recognizing patterns gives you insight into human nature, and it helps you predict behavior in a way that lets you respond rather than react. For example, some women might oscillate between giving you lots of attention one day and going completely quiet the next. This push-pull tactic is often a way of testing whether you'll chase after them. When you notice this pattern, instead of falling into the trap of overreacting, you can stay grounded and consistent in your responses. This doesn't mean that you have to call out every behavior, but simply observe and adapt. Let her know subtly, through your actions, that you don't play by these rules. By recognizing her patterns and choosing not to engage in them, you demonstrate a level of maturity and emotional intelligence that's rare. Think of it this way. Patterns become predictable when you recognize them, and predictability allows you to navigate the situation with clarity and confidence. Set boundaries. Early setting boundaries is not only healthy, it's essential for any relationship built on mutual respect. Boundaries are a way of saying, I know my worth and I expect to be treated with respect. Let's say you're dating someone who has a habit of canceling plans at the last minute. It can be tempting to let it slide the first few times, thinking it's just a one-off situation. But here's the thing. If you don't address it, it's likely to continue. A boundary isn't a punishment, it's a clear expectation. For instance, you might say, "I really value consistency. When plans change last minute, it makes me feel like my time isn't respected." This statement isn't confrontational, it's calm and honest. By setting boundaries, you're simply establishing what's acceptable and what isn't. This clarity prevents miscommunication and creates a space where respect can grow. Stay calm under pressure. Pressure tests character. In relationships, it often comes in the form of jealousy tactics, like bringing up an ex or showing interest in someone else to provoke a reaction. These situations can easily lead to frustration if you're not prepared. Mind games like this only work if you take the bait. If someone tries to make you jealous, recognize it for what it is, a test. Instead of reacting, stay grounded. When you respond calmly, without anger or accusation, it sends a powerful message that you're secure in yourself and don't need validation or approval from others. This kind of calm under pressure speaks volumes about your character, and it's a rare quality. By refusing to engage in reactive behavior, you become a steady force, someone who can handle life's storms without losing control. Focus on long-term goals. Having a purpose and direction in life makes it easier to deal with relationship ups and downs. When you're focused on your long-term goals, you won't be easily distracted by short-term drama. Think about it. If you're working toward meaningful achievements, you won't have time or energy for petty games. When a woman sees that you're committed to your goals, she's more likely to respect your time and effort. This isn't about ignoring relationships, it's about putting things in perspective. Long-term goals keep you grounded and provide clarity on what really matters. So, next time you feel drawn into drama, remind yourself of the bigger picture. Let your ambitions and goals be your compass, and let everything else fall into place around it. Avoid emotional retaliation. When someone tries to provoke you emotionally, the instinct is to retaliate. But remember, the moment you react impulsively, you lose control. Avoiding emotional retaliation means you remain level-headed, even if someone tries to push your buttons. If she's trying to get a rise out of you, respond with calmness instead of anger. This approach diffuses tension and signals that you're not interested in a back-and-forth game. Instead of playing on someone else's level, you set a new standard for communication, one based on respect and maturity. Communicate clearly and firmly. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions, it's about clarity and honesty. If something bothers you, address it calmly. Let's say she's acting distant. Instead of bottling up feelings or making passive-aggressive remarks, communicate directly. A simple, "I noticed you seem distant. Is something on your mind?" shows concern without accusation. Clear communication builds a solid foundation in relationships, rooted in respect rather than manipulation. By being upfront, you model a form of interaction that promotes trust and honesty. Prioritize your own well-being. One of the most empowering things you can do is to prioritize your own well-being. Your peace of mind is priceless, and relationships should enhance, not detract from, your sense of stability. Investing in your well-being isn't selfish, it's essential. When you take time to recharge, focus on self-care, and protect your energy, you establish a powerful sense of self-worth. This makes it clear that while you're committed to the relationship, you won't sacrifice your own mental health or happiness. Practice patience. Patience is one of the most underrated strengths in relationships. When a person tests your response time by going quiet or pulling away, it can be tempting to reach out immediately, double text, or try to resolve things. However, waiting and showing restraint demonstrates confidence. By practicing patience, you show that you respect her space and you give her the freedom to come to you on her terms. This patience reinforces your stability and lets her know that you're not desperate for attention or validation. Conclusion: take control of your life. Remember, these strategies aren't about trying to win or manipulate someone else. They're about developing the strength, patience, and self-respect to handle relationships on your own terms. The more you practice these Stoic principles, the more grounded you'll become. Not just in relationships, but in every aspect of life. If you found these strategies helpful, consider subscribing. Take control, stay unshakable, and remember that your calm is your true power. This is your life. Live it with purpose on your own terms.